Invitations to the King's Autumn Charity Gala always emerge like swans on the Serpentine, graceful, silent, and seemingly effortless. Yet this year the paper itself trembled, as though sensing war in its watermarks. Gilt lettering named the venue, Buckingham's Marble Hall, and praised a crusade for childhood literacy, but the true story unfolded in the blank space reserved for guest logistics. There, in invisible ink, Queen Camilla had written her secret stipulation, Middleton's, service entrance, 1845 sharp. No one outside the royal bubble was supposed to know. But royal secrets are like attic moths, they nibble until daylight pours through. Within 48 hours, the demand scuttled from page to page, first a footman, then a floral arrangements contractor, finally the ears of a freelance society reporter, who smelled blood under the perfume of privilege. Headline drafts flickered on digital dashboards, backdoor snub for princesses' parents. The palace's press team stamped them out, but the embers survived in group chats and gilded drawing rooms. Echoes in the green drawing room. Camilla's justification was cold math. Party pieces, the Middleton business empire, had slipped into administration. Trade creditors grumbled, creditors' lists leaked, and the Queen feared an unflattering juxtaposition, financial scandal photographed beside sapphire tiaras. In her mind the solution was simple, minimize the optics, shepherd any potential embarrassment through the tradesman's passage where pantry boys wield silver chafing dishes unseen. Yet even as she dictated the edict, the Queen's conscience prickled. She remembered Diana's ghost in every mirror, and the decades-long slog from other woman to beloved consort. Now one misstep threatened to yank open doors she had nailed shut with duty and charitable patronage. She poured a thimble of Dubonnet, told herself the Middletons would surely understand, and let the matter rest, like a letter placed, unsealed, on a gust-prone sill. Buckleberry's counter-strike. Carole Middleton's kitchen smelled faintly of ginger snaps and copier toner the morning the email arrived. She was sorting small parcels, remnants of a scaled-down mail-order business, when her iPad pinged. 2 lines, impeccably phrased, landed like a slap. In light of recent circumstances, Their Majesties request you use the garden entrance upon arrival. No signature, no courtesy flourish. She stared at the words until the kettle clicked off. Years of mothering the future queen had schooled her in royal nuance, but this was not nuance, it was banishment wrapped in satin. She poured tea she would not drink and pictured Catherine, the daughter now fighting chemo nausea with borrowed smiles, steeling herself for another flashbulb gauntlet. Carole's jaw tightened. By noon she had crafted a reply, each curve of ink measured, as if diplomacy grew in cursive soil. With gratitude for your Majesty's hospitality, we decline any entrance inconsistent with the honor due our daughter and grandchildren. Kindly accept our regrets, should the request stand. She sealed it with burgundy wax embossed CM, and dispatched Michael to the village post office, because sometimes rebellion begins with first-class post. A princess in the crossfire. Chemo mornings blur, but Catherine would later recall that particular Tuesday with photographic clarity. She was nursing mint tea, everything else tasted of tin, when her phone vibrated beneath a stack of oncology pamphlets. A screenshot of the Queen's decree glared up, garden entrance. 2 minutes later, her mother's riposte followed. A gust of protectiveness surged across Catherine's raw nerves, sharper than any foreprick. Protocol forbade confrontation, yet filial fury thrummed beneath her cardigan. She dialed the king. Their conversation, described by one aide as glacial courtesy overlaying molten emotion, lasted 8 minutes. Charles promised only a review, but his sigh before hanging up carried the weight of ancestral ceilings. Courtiers in panic. Buckingham's private secretary convened an emergency huddle beneath chandeliers older than electricity. One camp urged capitulation, front door optics or front page carnage. The other muttered about precedent, if bankruptcy became acceptable boarding pass, what next? Camilla listened, thumb flicking restless against emerald signet. At last she rose. "I have given my instruction," she said. "The program is settled." But programs crumble when cameras roll. A junior equerry, bold from too much espresso, whispered that Princess Catherine might boycott in solidarity. The word boycott floated like a raven over polished mahogany. Camilla's resolve faltered, but pride welded her lips shut. The meeting dissolved into corridors thick with speculation. Did the Queen just blink, or did she double down? The gala, Storm's Eye. October drizzle glazed the mall as limousines glided toward palace gates. Reporters tracked guest order like battlefield movements. At 1843 Lady Glenconnor swept past. At 1844 an archbishop. 1845, no Middletons. Twitter inhaled. Was the back door swallowing them from distant view, or had they detonated the guest list entirely? Inside, Queen Camilla adjusted sapphires at her throat. A footman announced Sir Jonathan Ive, another, a Bollywood philanthropist. Applause rippled along marble. She raised her chin, searching every archway for a silhouette she both dreaded and required. Still nothing. Then at 20:07, the chandeliers bloomed brighter, doors flung wide to reveal Princess Catherine in slate blue silk, her hand resting lightly on Michael's arm, Carole just behind. Cameras exploded. The trio paused atop scarlet steps, an impromptu tableau, duty, dignity, defiance. The master of the household, pulse audible in his ears, whispered to ushers, "Front entrance confirmed." No one barred their path. To do so now would turn a snub into drama fit for Shakespeare. Catherine descended slowly, each step an eloquent rejection of humiliation. Somewhere a violinist missed a beat. Camilla advanced, smile carved porcelain smooth. "So lovely you could come," she breathed, mascara trembling. Carole curtsied, fractionally shallow, and murmured, "Thank you for having us." A handshake as brief as frost followed. Flashes recorded every millisecond for posterity, historians, scandal hunters. Glass clink diplomacy. Dinner unfolded beneath frescoes of Roman conquest, but conquest this night belonged to subtler generals. Carole conversed with an African literacy activist about village libraries, her laughter light yet edged. Camilla, 3 seats away, felt each ripple of conviviality like a bruise. The Queen's speech approached. She rose, an expectant hush fell among crystal and silver. "Tonight we celebrate the power of stories," she began, voice steady, but standing on cracked ice. "Stories that remind us every child deserves a doorway." Here she hesitated. The room held its breath. A doorway opened with respect. Applause thundered. Did she glance at Carole? A telephoto lens would later insist she did. Tears behind tapestries. After dessert, Camilla slipped into a corridor lined with Gobelin tapestries, pulse racing beyond corseted bodice. Alone amid stitched myth, she pressed gloved fingertips to eyes blurred by unbidden tears. One revelation pulsed. "I have battled tabloids, politicians, public memory, yet I never learned to battle motherhood." In that confession she saw the true threat. Carole's power sprang from bedtime vigil, grazed knees, cupcake crumbs, territory the Queen's scepter could never reach. A lady-in-waiting discovered her, offered lavender-scented linen. Camilla composed herself, returned to the ballroom as string quartets pivoted into greensleeves. Yet gossip had already seeped like ink through parchment, Queen seen weeping after Middleton entrance. The Quiet Peace Summit. 2 weeks later, gardeners arranging wisteria in a Kensington courtyard noticed 3 women seated at a wrought iron table. No aides, no photographers. Catherine poured tea, Camilla listened, Carole spoke with measured calm. Witnesses overheard fragments, perception versus presence, children's sense of normal, front doors mean transparency. 91 minutes passed before they rose. Camilla departed first, shoulders lighter. Carole and Catherine lingered, hands entwined, sharing a smile sharper than any coronet. Repercussions in marble and memory. Palace insiders report a subtle shift. Invitations now print 2 entrance options, but leave placement blank, determined by rank and relationship to heirs, not press clippings. The king commissioned a private portrait of Catherine with her parents, an unprecedented gesture tacitly recognizing their role. Meanwhile, Camilla's charitable focus tilts toward early years literacy, calculating that if she cannot be the nursery confidant, she can at least be its champion. Tabloids, ever thirsty, attempted to stoke new flames, Middleton millions missing. Yet public sentiment sided with the mother who shielded a cancer-stricken daughter, and read the Gruffalo under striped tents. Camilla's approval ratings, surprisingly, rebounded, sympathy for a queen exposed proved potent. Both women, it seemed, had emerged stronger, Carole as steadfast matriarch, Camilla as sovereign learning humility mid-reign. Lessons etched on stationery. Near Christmas, Buckingham's post-room processed cards embossed with intertwined CS beneath a modest crown. One envelope, addressed to Mr. and Mrs. M. Middleton, carried an additional handwritten line, Camilla's looping script unmistakable. May our front doors remain open, especially to those who teach us grace. Carole pinned it beside Louis' crayon thank you note. Legacy, she reflected, grows from paper, children's scrawls, mothers' ultimatums, queen's concessions. And somewhere in the palace archives, the original email ordering her to the back entrance lingers, a relic of a single night, when 2 grandmothers fought for corridor rights, and redefined how power flows through the House of Windsor. Because in the end, crowns dazzle, scepters gleam, but it is the soft tap of a child's knuckles on a front door that decides who truly belongs inside.